visitor to the United Arab Emirates, it's astonishing to see how far the country has come in just a few decades. Mountains and deserts are now vying with a growing urban environment and a vast modern metropolis. It's hard to imagine the tough desert existence that the people endured in the past, as today I observe their lives enjoying the best that progress can offer. Traditional hospitality, like the offering of Arabic coffee, is still observed. Skyscrapers mushroom in all directions as sparkling monuments to the country's development, and a modern network of roads and tunnels which have revolutionized the face of the land by connecting the 7 Emirates, providing a smooth flow of traffic. Nowadays, grassy lawns and plantations flourish where dry sands used to be. A sophisticated lifestyle and superb facilities are the rewards of development. I see spectacular results all around me as my journey begins from Abu Dhabi Airport. Travelling in the capital, Abu Dhabi, one sees the most superb tree-lined boulevards, wonderful tall buildings, glass-plated, gleaming in the sun. The facilities in the Emirates are also equally superb. shopping facilities that rate with the best in any international capital. The shopping malls and the splendid goods on display vie with the leading capitals of the world also. And the architecture is a wonder to be seen. Tradition combined with modernity seems to be the hallmark of the modern United Arab Emirates. But how did it all begin? On December the 2nd, 1971, the UAE Federation was established when the rulers of the territories now known as the United Arab Emirates announced their allegiance to Sheikh Zayed bin Sultan Al Nahyan of Abu Dhabi, who from that day became president of the UAE, and all the rulers of the Emirates became members of the Supreme Council. Sheikh Zayed and his fellow rulers realized that unity was the way forward if they were to succeed in creating a strong and modern state. And today the UAE enjoys international prestige among the world's nations. Before Federation, the people of this region led a hardy and frugal life, centred on two main sources of livelihood, fishing and pearl diving. It was often a precarious and sometimes even dangerous existence. Prey to an unyielding climate and the unpredictable seas, only sacrifice and a spirit of determination supported the Gulf people. Their dwellings utilised the only materials available then. They were ingenious structures made from mud and palm thatch. Electricity and water services were unknown, and the main means of transportation was the camel. Schooling was rudimentary. Makeshift buildings or tents would serve as the schoolroom, while instruction was naturally limited. The sick or disabled relied on traditional herbal medicine as the only available treatment, and the sea was the only gateway to foreign trade. Of course, there were no ports or harbours, and journeys could be hazardous and long. The changes brought about by Federation have been dramatic. The oil wealth has been harnessed to build a developed nation-state with a sound economic base. But above all, it has been used to promote development of the people, the country's most valuable asset. People are measured by their achievements, and the challenges that faced the emerging UAE only strengthened national resolve to carry out the task of modernization. Projects of all kinds were implemented, and today the United Arab Emirates has become a magnet for businessmen, investors and tourists from all over the world. Man is the pillar of the homeland is a motto taken to heart here in the United Arab Emirates. Citizens are provided with comfortable accommodation, fully serviced with electricity, water and modern appliances. Residential complexes and low-cost houses have been constructed throughout the land, complete with schools, medical clinics and hospitals, and shopping centres enjoying the most up-to-date facilities. Now many hospitals in the UAE, including maternity clinics and childcare centres built to the highest standards and incorporating the latest technological advances, which means that complicated surgical operations can now be performed in the Emirates, such as open heart surgery and organ transplants. Can't fail to notice the increasing number of schools, colleges, institutes and universities designed to strengthen the people's links with their homeland and maintain genuine values and principles. The Emirates University in Al Ain is building an educated generation of UAE nationals to serve society. In addition, there are many sports clubs and games halls built specially to encourage the skills of amateurs. Indeed, the Emirates has earned itself a prominent position in sporting competitions on both Arab and international levels. rights are guaranteed in the United Arab Emirates. They play a full role in society and share with men in making a prosperous future. The upbringing of tomorrow's generation is a particular responsibility of society, and today's children are provided with childcare centres, while numerous cultural and psychological symposiums are also held here in the Emirates on a regular basis. I can only be surprised at the success of the greening drive, the challenge of conquering the desert, by planting numerous date trees, corn fruit and vegetable crops, and expanding green areas, in addition to breeding livestock and developing fisheries to achieve food security. Agricultural development, giant seawater desalination plants and power generation stations were also set up. Dams were constructed with the aim of providing necessary irrigation water. Several oil, industrial and petrochemical projects can also be seen throughout the country to meet its requirements for oil and natural gas. Capital of Abu Dhabi is linked with the country's other cities and areas by a large network of roads and flyovers. Heritage as part of the life of the country is being revived and instilled in the minds and hearts of every new generation. Old forts and castles are preserved, folklore troupes are encouraged to perform, and to preserve the art of the past. Children and students are given an idea of the lives of their forefathers through social and sporting activities, like camel and horse racing, falconry, sailing, and rowing boat regattas. all patronized by the leading sheikhs of the region. As a visitor to the UAE, I can appreciate the importance attached by the country to security and stability. Protecting the lives and property of citizens and residents is one of the hallmarks of UAE society. Indeed, I feel safer here than in many other places in the world. The UAE soldier plays a vital part in the country's security. Recruits receive rigorous training to enable them to defend this land and preserve its gains and accomplishments. Political level, a close relationship is nurtured between the leadership and people through the leader's meetings with his people in remote towns and villages and inspection tours of their living conditions within the framework of the Shura principle, embodying deep-rooted values. The UAE people are evolving a democratic path, represented by the Federal National Council. On the regional level, the Emirates, under the leadership of His Highness Sheikh Zayed bin Sultan Al Nahyan, took the initiative of bringing together Gulf leaders in Abu Dhabi in May 1981, where they announced the establishment of the Gulf Cooperation Council as an integral part of the Arab League to promote regional and Arab integration and uphold solidarity and cooperation in the Islamic and Arab nations. UAE has also contributed to financing several development schemes in Arab, African and Asian countries. The Emirates is known for its continued initiatives in mediating in inter-Arab disputes, bolstering Arab solidarity and standing up for issues concerning human rights, justice and peace. Thanks to quiet diplomacy and cooperation, relations between the United Arab Emirates and friendly states have been strengthened and expanded. Because the Emirates sees cooperation among peoples as an avenue to establish a world order based on stability, security and peace. The federal experiment acquires its greatness from its continuation and from the splendour of achievements and gains realised in the country, which highlights the fact that union is strength. UAE nationals pride themselves on this federal experience, regarded by people at home and abroad as the most successful union in modern history, owing to the prudent leadership and far-sighted vision of His Highness President Sheikh Zayed bin Sultan Al Nahyan, and the concerted efforts of Their Highnesses the Supreme Council members and rulers of the Emirates, who have illuminated the torch of federation in the country's 7 Emirates.